What is up, everybody? It's Animac here for Anime Uproar, and welcome to the chapter review for My Hero Academia chapter 161. To be honest, I don't even know how to start off this review. I'm just gonna say right now, major spoilers ahead. If you haven't yet read the chapter, be warned, major spoilers are coming. This chapter is called A Bright Future, and guys, I think this chapter might have just changed everything. It might have been an important milestone that changes everything about the future of Boku no Hero as a whole. I will talk about that more later on in the video. If you enjoyed these reviews, be sure to leave a like to let me know. And if you're new, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want to be notified every time that I post a new review. And now let's get into it. This chapter starts off with the aftermath of the battle between the 8 Precepts of Death and the heroes. While a lot of heroes and cops were injured and a lot of material damage was done, thankfully only 3 civilians were injured and not that severely. Meanwhile, in the hospital, the doctors are looking after the heroes and the students, and we learn that Deku, Aizawa, Kirishima, Amajima, Lockrock, and Fat Gum were all injured to various degrees, but they are all going to be fine. However, Eri is still unconscious and suffering from a fever, so she has to be quarantined and is being watched closely. And of course, the reason Eri is being quarantined is because she can't control her quirk, so everyone is afraid that she might hurt someone if she comes into contact with them. And Aizawa points out that Eri's rewinding quirk appears to work only on people, not objects. And at this point, just as I'm thinking, okay, what they're saying is a few people were injured, but this is a shonen after all, and everyone is going to recover. Which, by the way, is the same thing I thought about the last chapter when Shigaraki said he wouldn't kill Overhaul. I was like, oh well, he'll just use the bullets to erase his quirk, but everything will stay family friendly, and then Shigaraki freaking cut off Overhaul's hands. In this chapter, we again see that no, My Hero Academia is quickly becoming far more mature and far more serious than it used to be. We see that All Might has arrived at the hospital because Sir Nighteye is not doing well. In fact, he is on his deathbed and there is seemingly nothing that the doctors and nurses can do to save him. Deku and All Might rush to see Sir Nighteye and they tell him that he has to hang in there, he has to pull through. Sir tells them that for a long time he had been racking his brain on how to change All Might's fate because he had foreseen him dying. It seemed like no matter what Sir did, the things he saw always came true, and he felt like these things were impossible to change, and that was always stuck in the back of his mind. You can only imagine how terrible that must have been for him, seeing all of these bad things are going to happen, but being haunted by the belief that he can't do anything to change it no matter what. However, Sir says that Deku showed him that changing fate was possible. Deku had such a clear vision and wish for what he wanted to happen that he managed to change everything with the help of everyone else who focused their wishes and energy into that same goal. Sir tells Deku that the future is never certain and that it was Deku who changed his mind about that, which is something that Sir is very grateful for. And you can just imagine that he is after all the time he spent torturing himself and racking his brain about the fact that he seemed helpless to stop bad things from happening. This is an incredibly important revelation for Sir Nighteye, and we can't overstate how much this changes his perspective on everything. We then see a still injured Mirio burst into the room even though he shouldn't even be moving, and yet he begs and pleads with Sir to pull through and not die. Mirio tells Sir that he taught him everything that he knows and he owes everything to him, and that he has to keep teaching him and that he can't die, and this is such an emotional and powerful scene. We know what Mirio has been through, how hard he had worked to master his quirk, which is incredibly difficult and painful to control, and now his mentor and friend is dying in front of him. And in this scene, Mirio looks completely broken down. It is really tragic and difficult to even watch. Sir tells Mirio that even though when he first took him on he thought Mirio would just be a fitting vessel, since then Mirio has become his most treasured student and he is becoming an outstanding hero. And Sir Nighteye also says that this is the only future that they shouldn't change, and he tells Mirio to keep smiling. And then in that moment we see Sir Nighteye flatline and pass away. This is how the chapter ends, and we are left with these words. His day ends with a peaceful smile on his face. Good night, Nighteye. And wow, just wow, what a powerful scene and what a powerful chapter. This moment marks a major transition in my mind. This is no longer just a lighthearted manga for teens. This is now a truly mature and serious story. Sir Nighteye is gone, everyone is in tears, Mirio, Deku, and All Might are devastated, but Sir died with a smile on his face because Deku showed him that his worst fears were not true after all, that we can change fate and we can make a difference if we do our best and try hard enough. Maybe All Might can be saved after all. This future, which will continue without Sir Nighteye, is still a good and bright one and shouldn't be changed because there is still so much hope. Just looking at Deku and Mirio, how they're maturing into remarkable heroes along with Kirishima and so many others. This tells me that despite Sir Nightaye's sacrifice, the future is bright, the future is full of hope. And this is exactly why the title of this chapter is A Bright Future, and these 3 words say so much, it is truly poetic. I really do think that this chapter will end up being a major moment in this manga. With Sir Nighteye gone, things will never be the same again. His sacrifice will stay with Deku, Mirio, All Might, and the others forever. Things will never be the same. We are entering a new, more mature and serious era of Boku no Hero, for better or for worse. Let me know what you guys think. Did this chapter just change everything? What are your thoughts on what just happened, and where do you think the story will go from here? Let me know down below. I love to hear from you. This is really one of those chapters that just makes you step back and say, wow, did this really just happen? So much emotion, so much drama. There's no going back from this. And yeah, it's just so powerful. If you enjoyed these reviews, be sure to leave a like to let me know. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want to be notified whenever a new review is uploaded. As always, thank you so much for watching. Rest in peace, Sir Nighteye. And until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.